Hey YouTubers, this is Bob. Well, I've been looking in my crystal ball and have been working on my annual list of 2009 world predictions. So, I'm looking forward to, first of all, before we begin, let me just tell you, I so appreciate all of your letters and all of your interest and messages from the spirit world. And to all of you, I send my greetings for a happy, joyous, and prosperous new year. So, I hope to also in this new year be bringing you a lot more episodes of messages from the spirit world. So I thank all of you who've been writing, and we will be working further on your letters. But today I wanted to give to you my list of predictions that I put together here for 2009. So, to sit back, relax, and let's see what the Spirit has brought us. Okay. My first prediction for 2009 is it's about the economy. And I want all of you to just hold steady because I'm predicting that in February we're going to see the market start to return. The whole economic system is going to start to improve during the month of February 2009. And it looks like in March we're going to start to see the housing market return. So for those of you who have been waiting to sell your houses, it'll be in 2009 in March that you're going to start to see that come back. Okay. Now don't be worried here, but in July there may be another dip in the market. So if you're looking at investments and stuff, remember that in July that the market dip that I'm seeing is only short term. Okay. So we're going to have probably a few more, of these kind of up and down patterns until we get into the latter half of February, and then we'll see the return. Okay, and that pattern I don't see dipping again until around July of this year. But again, that's not going to be as severe or as long term. Okay, now one of the things that may precede the July dip is I do pick up in it looks like it's around the month of June that there may be a crisis in the Middle East. And I feel that this may be involving some sort of oil situation. There could be an oil embargo or something of that nature. And that may affect the July market. But I don't see this going to a military conflict. But I do see a lot of high-level and intense diplomacy during the month of June this year. And it does look like that'll be resolved without violence. Thank goodness. Okay. Now, on a lighter note, I also pick up a new car will be released at the end of 2009. It looks like it's an ethanol-based car, and it's going to be an American car manufactured in the U.S. And I really think that's going to be a real hit this year. So if you're looking at buying a new car, you might want to wait till a little later in the year because it looks like it's around December. It's literally at the end of the year that looks like that starts to manifest here. Okay. Now, in regards to the country, if you're living west of the Mississippi, kind of be prepared because I see the western half of the country having a lot more severe weather continuing throughout this year. I'm seeing a lot of tornadoes, droughts, extreme storms. It's going to be kind of intense throughout 2009. Now, what's interesting is, you know how we're always talking about California having earthquakes. I'm seeing, strangely, the East Coast in 2009 having a lot more seismic activity. And it's almost kind of like the East Coast becomes like the West Coast has been. So, people on the East, you might escape some of the storms that the West will get, but we're going to have seismic activity. And I hope that the scientists will continue to monitor that. Okay, but I'm not seeing the coast fall off, but it does look like an increase there. Okay, now one of my other predictions that I have for 2009 is with the economy's return, I'm also seeing an increase in charitable giving. And this is going to be a good year for charities because people are going to be really wanting to give money to donations to things that are important causes. And it's also going to be a very good year for nonprofit corporations. So if you're looking at starting up a nonprofit, 2009 is really the year for you for that, okay? I generally don't like to get into politics, but I do pick up that President Obama is going to be a real inspiration for the nation. And I see him probably as we get into probably the spring or summer, setting up a new initiative that's going to help young people learn skills for work. And it may be that he sets up some sort of training programs or something that's funded by the federal government. But it looks like President Obama is going to be a real hit, particularly with the younger people. Okay? Now, speaking of younger people, this is also going to be a good year for those of you who want to go to school and are worried about money, because I do see an increase in scholarships being created around the country. And I also pick up here that there's going to be a new federal initiative enacted during Obama's term for greater increase in funding, federal funding for college students. So if you've been worried about money, I wouldn't hold back, because it looks like you're going to be able to go to school in greater numbers this year, okay? So 2009 is good for the younger people, okay? Wonderful. Now, one of the other predictions I'm getting here is that there's also going to be a new breakthrough in cancer research, and I feel like this comes in around September of this upcoming year. And that looks like the research that is done will predominantly applied, I believe, in leukemia research. But it looks like the information they gather is useful across many other disciplines in healing areas. So there's going to be some good news come around September here for that. Okay? And one of the other predictions that I've been seeing for 2009 is the economic situation, as I said, is improving. There's going to be a lot of upstart businesses as well this year. And I see some funding, actually, it's like federal funding being granted through the federal government and state and local governments for upstart businesses. So if you've been wanting to start a business, I believe you're going to be able to have some extra help to do that this year. And I would just encourage you to be really thinking. 2009 is all about growth for each person on their journey. It's about economic growth. It's about achieving goals. It's about doing things that you didn't think maybe were possible previously. And I think it's going to be a really up-and-coming year, okay? Now, also, one of the other things that I keep getting around 2009 is there does seem to be a thinning of the veil between the worlds. And I do believe we're going to start to see more and more people starting to connect with the other side. There's going to be an increase in paranormal activity. And, you know, we're going to be hearing about more and more haunted houses, more and more apparitions of spirits, all of this sort of thing. There's going to be increased UFO sightings. And the reason is that the veil between the worlds is getting thinner. As we get closer to 2012, we're going to start to see humankind's spiritual consciousness evolve. And people are going to start to really be tuning in to the other side. Now, what's interesting is a lot of people who are perhaps not even interested in this sort of thing will suddenly find themselves having unexplained, psychic experiences. And that's going to further kind of push areas of research. And I think we're going to start to see in 2009 some more talk about parapsychology programs at universities. Okay? So, now, one of my other predictions I also see for 2009 is it looks like I'm going to put this probably towards the winter time, probably like around November, December of 2009. It looks like there is going to be the unearthing of an ancient scroll in the Middle East. And what's interesting, this scroll has in it information that is ancient and mystical. And there is some connection, I believe, with Edgar Cayce around this as well. And it may well be that either Edgar Cayce discussed this find in one of his readings, or it may reveal some truths that are parallel to the Cayce readings. And it looks like it's in Egypt, and it may have a connection to the ancient library of Alexandria. Well, guys, I'm afraid that's all we're going to have time for. But I appreciate you tuning in. And next week, I'll be sure to bring you more messages from the spirit world.